tell you now, I ain't no holy individual, but I am righteous. I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm not gonna steal from you, I'm not gonna cheat you. I'm gonna tell you the truth, whether you like that or not. That's it.
Flu, what's good, my digger?
Hey, man. How you doing, man? What's going on?
All right. Yeah. We got you on. What's good? You ready?
How you doing, man? No, I appreciate you reaching out, man. Like all the way over here in Australia, man. That's crazy, man. It's beautiful.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Strictly for my diggers, and you were definitely a digger, deep digger. You know. It's funny though. I always thought that you were from, like, I guess according to just the people that you work with, I thought you were from like Rochester, New York, upstate New York.
Yeah. No, a few people thought that. And then when we've linked up to do projects and we've done, video calls, all of a sudden I appear and I start talking like this, and they're like, "What the fuck? Are you English?" Like they always think English first,
Right.
But nah, man, down in Melbourne City, Australia. So
yeah, that's weird when you told me that, because I was like, oh, he's probably in Rochester or whatever.
Yeah.
I know you've done work with Riggs, Chuck Can,
Yeah.
there's a whole host of others, Ito,
Ito,
Apple. You know what I'm saying? So,
yes.
All right, so now that we got where you from out the way, when did you start making beats? When did this whole beat making thing happen?
Well, funny enough, man, I've actually got a bit of history in the Australian hip hop scene. Before the beats, I was actually MCing for like about 10 years, man, like touring, doing vinyl, the whole bit. And then one day I was just like, instead of having to pay the money all the time for producers, I should just learn how to do it myself. And I grew up watching proper diggers, vinyl diggers, following them to the vinyl stores, watching how they did their thing. And I just fell in love with that whole process, man, that whole, hunting for that dope vinyl. So all of a sudden I just got myself a secondhand sampler off my homie, and then started hitting the local record stores, man, and just started falling in love with that, the search, the hunt for the samples. And I used to do the blind digging, man. A lot of the places I went to down here, they didn't have the record player where you can check it first, and see if there's fire on there. So I used to just fork out a lot of money, man, and then come home and, 80% of it would be trash. But then I started learning how to look for certain things on records. And from there, I just started taking it real serious. So that was around probably 2015, 2014. So still kind of relatively new, I'd say, almost, when you put it that way,
Okay, yeah. That you, someone who's been doing it for such a short amount of time, you've made a lot of waves. I've seen your name around a lot,
No, I appreciate it, man. Yeah, I mean, a lot of that is thanks to Ito, man. So shout outs to Ito, who I played him some stuff, and he believed in it straight away. And we were like, let's do an EP. And then bang, we did that, and then all of a sudden he did one with Muggs straight after that. So I was kind of like, oh shit, maybe Muggs has heard my stuff, Right. So that was pretty cool. So definitely shouts to Ito though. He was like my foray into, I guess, the States, you know what I mean? So down here people knew, but over there no one knew. And then that EP did really well. Shout outs to Tough Kong Records for putting that out, and from there, man, it's just been been a blessing, man. I definitely can't complain. I'm very humbled by it all, man. So yeah.
Right. So let me ask you a question. Is producing? Do you do that full time?
Nah, man. Look, I wish, man. That would be the dream. That's what I'm aiming. That's what I strive to do. I do believe it can be attainable one day. But nah, man, look, I got 3 kids, a wife, so unfortunately the beats, they don't, supply that amount of income yet. So always trying to stay positive though. And, I believe in the whole, manifesting thing. So I've been doing the whole positive thinking thing, and I'm working on it, man. We'll see what happens.
So like someone like a producer like yourself, how does one make money? How do you get paid? Like, do you give these beats to these artists for free and just hope your name spreads, or how does that happen?
So, a lot of people like to keep all this industry stuff a secret. I'll be straight up with you, man. I'll tell you everything. At the start, I hit up Ito, but at the same time, I was such a big fan. I said to the guy, I'm like, look, man, I want to pay you for your talents to be on my thing because you're giving me a chance, an unknown dude from Australia, you know? So, you know, I paid some money to get some verses and songs off him, and that was cool. We actually became homies, though, by talking back and forward. So it was an organic thing in the end, right? And then we did the splits on the, what do you call it, on the streaming, right? And then with the record sales with Tough Kong, then I recouped back with the sales on the vinyl. From there, because it did so well, it was all cool from there. So to make money now, it's the streaming and it's selling beats. So you can always do your side hustle where you're selling beats direct to people. You offer them the exclusives. I don't do any of that leasing thing. That, to me, that's weird. I'm not part of that whole thing. But you know, you sell them the exclusives, give them the stems, let the engineer do their thing. So that's how you can make a little bit of money. And also, obviously, shout outs to record labels like Tough Kong, Fuck Rap, Respect Do Records out of Jersey. Like, they've all messed with me too. So you can make money on the physicals too. And so that's how you do it. That's how you recoup and make a little bit of profit.
Right.
For me, anyway.
Right, but it's not enough to quit your job and do it full time.
Not yet, man. No, I'd be out. Wife would kick me out on the street if I came home one day and went, you know what, babe, I'm just gonna make beats. I'll be back. Like, yeah, that wouldn't play in my house just yet.
Right.
You know.
So let's go into some beat science, like, you know.
Yeah, man.
Now, when it comes to like drums, are you sampling drums off of vinyl? Where are you getting your drums from, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, man. So pretty much vinyl, man. Like I'm one of those, like, believe it or not, like I'm in my mid-30s now. So like I said, I came up, it was vinyl, like crate digging. So I sort of amassed a huge collection of drums when I first started, to the point where I've almost got enough to go forever because I tweak them. You can chop them in a million ways. You know, you can layer them. You can do all kinds of stuff to freak your breaks, where it doesn't have to sound, if someone uses the same break, mine might still sound completely different. You can do so many things with drums. So everything's strictly vinyl. Lately, though, because of lockdown and stuff like that, sometimes you got to find your samples elsewhere. But drum-wise, I've got enough. I've got enough to find, you know, drums forever. Even to this day, I'll put a record on. There's a quick little drum roll. I'll always make sure I grab that, even if the whole album's trash. You know, you might get that one little roll, and you can use that, and it's beautiful, you know. And there's definitely a huge difference. I can hear it, not to sound like, you know, a sonic nerd or whatever, but I can definitely hear the difference when in the final product. You know what I mean? So, but at the same time, man, I'm not a snob. You know, right. You know, sample what you can sample, man. Not everyone has the you know, option to go vinyl. It's expensive. It can build up your bills, you know. So, you know, some people are like against sampling off the internet. I think a lot of people be doing that now, and I've done it myself too. So you do what you can, man, to make fire. You know, that whole classic, like, who cares what you use or what you sample? If it's fire, it's fire. You know.
Right.
So
I'm a dollar crate digger. I dig for the dollar crate.
Yeah.
Dollar crate.
Yeah.
Whatever. But yeah, like you were saying before, there, because, you know, I've gotten so much records, I don't have room anymore. So I've started digging online, you know, to find the records and things like that. So now when it comes to drums, are you quantizing? Do you bang out drums, or are you just finding loops?
Nah, see, I don't really do the quantized thing, man. Funny enough. For me, I like it to sound a little bit human. I like the human error. Do you know what I mean? Like, I like it a little bit off. Like, I like the human swing. So I rarely quantize. Personally, I don't mind it having a little bit of I guess you'd call, what would you call it? Like a swing that might sound a little bit out here and there every 4 bars. I like it. Like, to me, that's like that human-esque of it. Like, so yeah, I'm not really big on the quantizing, but that's only for me. Like, it hasn't worked for me. I haven't liked when I have quantized drums, heard the beat, and I'm like, it's a bit too, like, you know, a bit rigid or whatever. I like it to sort of have a little bit of like a swing and a flow. Yeah.
Right. So you turn the quantization off and just go.
That off all the time, man. I rarely use it. Very rarely. Very rarely.
Right. So like the BPMs, what is your range in the BPMs when you can tell I'm a beat maker because I'm asking you beat maker questions. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. This is a good interview. I like this interview, man, because yeah, I can definitely tell. BPM lately, funny enough, I never thought I'd be sitting in this part for so long, but lately it's been like mid-70s to like early 80s. Do you know what I mean? When I first started, it was those mid-80s, 90 BPM classic, I guess, boom bap tempos. And then the records I was buying, you know, a lot of prog rock stuff, trying to find different weird random shit from Czechoslovakia or whatever, right? I found that when I was sampling them, I don't really use time stretch either. I do the whole pitch and down, pitch and up thing, right? So I found a lot of them were starting to sit really nice in those low mid 70s, low 80s. So I'd be sitting there a lot. A lot of the Edo stuff, the rig stuff was around there, you know, 81 to 75 to about 81. And it just happens, it's not on purpose. It just happens to be, to me, that's just like, oh yeah, that's where it hits. And it just, to me, that's like the God tempo right now, man. I'm loving that tempo, you know? So what about yourself, man? What do you prefer?
Yeah, well, I'm the same way. Before it used to be like 95 or
yeah,
whatever,
yeah.
I'm like you now. It's like I've been sticking like in the 80s, 83, maybe 89, sometimes like 75, you know, things like that. Because I just like the steady. I like hearing MCs rhyme the steady flow. I don't like them trying to catch the beat. So like they rhyme the beat. You know what I'm saying? And things like that.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So do you start with drums first, or do you go for the sample first?
Always sample first. It's funny. I got homies that they do the drums first. For me, it's weird. It's like backwards for me doing drums first. I find the sample, man, chop the sample, then find the applicable drums that I think suit that sample. For some reason, when I have done the drums first, it just feels weird. Then dropping samples in, chopping to the drums. I normally chop the drums to the sample, which again goes against the quantizing, I suppose, of having a little bit like errors are probably not the right word, but a little bit of that human feel, you know? So I'll do samples first, drums, then I'll play my own bass lines, some synths and stuff underneath, and then go back and go over the sample parts that I've chopped with, you know, add little doodads and little bits and pieces to it. So I sort of go in that sort of, you know, order. And then obviously once I get the vocals back from whoever, then I'll do the dropouts and all the tweaks and stuff after that, you know?
Got you. So, yeah, and it's funny that you say chop, because that was the next question I was going to ask you. Do you prefer chopping or do you prefer looping?
I think, like, for me, it's a bit of both. Sometimes I'll chop stuff and then it sounds like a loop anyway. Like, it'll just sound like I've looped 2 bars, but I've chopped, there's like probably like 7, 8 chops in there. I don't really go for the crazy, real choppy sounding beats anyway. I go for the more sort of looped sounding ones. Because I'm a massive like RZA circa 93 to 97, you know, Havoc from the same era too. That was to me the pinnacle of crazy, you know, dope beats. Premier, obviously a legend too, but I more gravitated to that RZA, early RZA 90s Mobb Deep Havoc sort of style, and the way they did their loops and added their little chops on top of the loops. Do you know what I mean? As opposed to Primo, who puts a bunch of chops together to do his crazy shit. I was more like, I like the darker sort of looped with the stuff put on top, if that makes sense.
Right,
you know?
right. So what is your weapon of choice? I didn't get a chance to ask you that. What are you using?
I believe it or not, you know the Machine?
Yes.
Yeah, so I still rock the Machine 1, man. The very first one that came out like probably 10 years ago, the MK1. They've done all these crazy new things with colors, beeps, and lights. I don't need none of that, man. I'm happy with just the one old one. That and a cheap $200 keyboard, man. And you know what? That's me sorted. For me, less is more with the studio stuff. Like, I don't need a bunch of stuff. I like to keep it simple. I like to know what my workflow is. I don't want to be held up by having to do all this crazy stuff. So I'm on that. And that was, but I grew up with MPC users. They know all the MPC 2000s, even with the external zip drives, the whole bit. So I grew up on seeing people working pads. So I fell in love with that part of it. And I found for Machine, it gave you the software on the screen, which is handy, but it also gave you that feel of like the 16 pads. You know, I can still fuck around with the pads and not even look at the computer when I'm in that zone. So yeah, for me, it's the old Machine. Like, I wouldn't even know how to use any of these new updates they've got, you know? What about yourself, man? What do you use?
Know, I've been on the MPC since 1999, MPC 2000 XL since 1999.
Yeah, man.
Now,
yeah.
Recently, I would say maybe we're going like maybe 6-7 months ago, I switched over to the MPC Studio. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
okay.
I've been hanging out with that, but before it was the MPC, and I had an MPC 2000 XL, and I had a 4th Tech 16-track track board.
Yeah, got you. Yeah.
So I've upgraded, and I like the work better. You know.
So the workflow must be much easier now.
Right,
Yeah,
I'm able to send beats out just quicker, much quicker now. You know, so I'm not. This has been a game changer for me. You know, looking at the screen, and I can still bang on the pads because I can't click.
Yeah, man.
Because I feel like I'm a part of the beat.
Exactly, man.
Like I'm a part of the beat. So when it comes to like sequences, what do you start your sequences off with? Is it 2 bars, 4 bars, 8 bars?
Generally, like sometimes even 1 bar, but generally like depends what I've sampled in. Sometimes, but mostly I'll build from 1 to 2 and just keep going from there. And then I'm a big fan of switch ups and change ups too. Like some people, they don't like that many switch ups. They just want that dope 2 to 4 bar loop just going, and that's cool. I do that as well, but I like to do a lot of dropouts, switch ups. So I'll start even from the very first bar, man, and just build it on from there in pattern mode, which is what we call it on the machine, and just keep going and introduce something new. Even if it's real subtle and the average person wouldn't hear it, you'd hear it because you're a producer. But even if the average listener doesn't hear it, every 4 bars, 8 bars, I introduce something, whether it's even just a drum change or a drum roll or something on the sample. I like to introduce something the whole time, so it's almost progressive without being overproduced, overcooked. You know what I mean? So I like to, keep them guessing, keep it building. Yeah,
because I like simple but hard but effective beats. I don't like much in the beat because I like to leave room for the MC. To me, for my beats, the MC is like the last instrument.
I was just about to say that, man. I think people sometimes forget that the MC is an instrument. You know what I mean? And even rapping is percussive. You know what I mean? The way the flow is, that's its own percussion too. So you want to have that room with your own percussion for it to, you know, flow nicely, not clash against each other. You know what I mean? So you can definitely overcook things. I've been guilty of that plenty of times. I've sent back tracks to people and they're like, "Oh, Flu, what the fuck, man? Why you add all this shit?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, you're right. You know, take it back out, strip it back down." So I've been guilty of that too. And I think that's just sometimes coming from a producer point where I feel like I need to do more to it when I should probably ease up and just leave it, you know?
Right. And speaking of which, when you're saying, you know, sending tracks out to people, have you ever made beats and you have a particular topic like this? You might be like, this sounds like a chick song or female song, but you give it to the MC, and because you're in Australia, you're not working side by side, they do something totally left that, or they may come in on the beat where you didn't want them to come in just yet.
Yeah. Does that Sorry, go ahead, man. Sorry, what were you saying?
What I was asking, like I said before, you know, you make a beat and you're like, yo, so-and-so would sound dope on this, but this is a female song. This is like a chick song. I want to rhyme about females, but you send the beat out to them, but they're on some hardcore gangster shit with it. Has that ever happened? Like, you're like, yo, that was supposed to be a chick song. Why'd you do some gangster shit to it? Or I wanted you to come in here after this dropped out, or before we dropped in, but they came in earlier than or later than. Has that ever happened?
Definitely, man. A few times, and it just reminds me though how people process music differently. Like what you and I may hear, like you said, a chick song or a straight up, you know, hardcore banger or something. Someone else, they're interpreting it in such a different way that I've had to remind myself that it's like that's just how they're hearing it. Like, so I've had a few things sent back. I'm like, oh, okay, you're doing it like this, but then I'll obviously, you know, work with what they've done, you know, and work with them, you know, until we find a happy medium. But yeah, it's definitely happened before where I've made an intro for 8 bars and they've started rapping 4 bars in. I'm like, no, whoa, chill. That's just part of the intro. It hasn't even kicked in yet.
Right.
But in the end, sometimes it works. I call them happy accidents, you know. You know, when sometimes you're freaking a beat and you accidentally hit something else or you've done something you weren't meant to do and it sounds crazy and you're like, oh, happy accident. So, you know, you make it work in the end. And I like to let MCs be MCs, man, and do their thing too. You know, to me, it's always a collaborative thing. I never try and take charge. I always try and like make it so we're both happy in the end. You know, I think that's important. So Right.
Now, you being in Australia, I know you don't get a chance to work with a lot of these guys in the studio because I feel like when you're in the studio with them, now you're not just being a beat maker, you're producing. Because now you're ideas, you're telling them, say it like this, say it like that, you know, and I think that's where the translation gets lost when just sending beats, you know?
It definitely, man. Yeah, for sure.
You know, so
I think.
Go ahead, finish, please.
Yeah, no. So what I was going to say is what I do personally, what I like to do is get on the phone with them. You know what I mean? A lot of people just keep it straight on Instagram messaging or WhatsApp or whatever. And you can make that work. That's fine. I think that's how a lot of people do it. I like to get on the phone with them. I like to have a chat to them, even video chat like we are now. Get to know each other a bit, like, right. and both share the idea and speak on it a little bit, like, and that way, at least even if they're not in here with me right now, it's like they just were on the phone, and I can even show them something while the phone's on. What do you think of that little switch up there? Do you like that? No, you don't. Oh, what about this? Oh, you like that? Cool. So I think that's the best I can do, being all the way over here. You know what I mean? And most of the dudes I'm working with these days over where you're at. So I think at least, to me, I find that that's helped a lot, man, with making it sound like we're in the studio together. Is don't be afraid to get on the phone. Like, let's have a proper talk about it. You know, this we put our lives into this shit. Why keep it just on text? Let's have a quick chat. You know, and I know it's 2021 or whatever, and text. Cool, I get that too. But sometimes you got to just link on the phone and go from there. And it saves you, first of all, a lot of time. You get to know each other a bit better. You have a laugh, build some rapport, and I think that in the end, in the final the final product, it speaks for itself. You can hear the difference. You know, you can hear when it's just cut and paste sometimes email shit. You know, and that's not me shooting at nobody, but you can hear it. So I want it to sound like, you know, they were standing right next to me when we were doing it. You know,
right. So who's on your wish list right now that you want to work with that you haven't already?
Man, sadly, both of them have passed. My big wish list was Sean Price and MF Doom, right? So obviously, you know, that never got to happen. So, you know, that I was so focused on trying to make that happen. But rest in peace to those two legends, man. These days, like, you know, I just want to work with anybody who's like down to earth, man, and dope. Like, I don't really have a wish list. Like, I'm such a chill dude. Anyone that just approaches in a nice, chill, professional though way, that just wants to make dope art and they're dope, I'm down to work with anybody, man. Like, I'm not hard to approach. I'm not one of those dudes that's like, nah, I've done this with this and that, you need a whatever. I'm cool. Like, anyone dope, man. There's there's so much talent out there now. I couldn't even begin to name names, even if I tried. Like, they're out there, I see them, but I'd forget a bunch if I started naming even a few. But I'm loving where for lack of a better term, underground is at now. I'm loving where it's at. I'm still getting used to this era of like 4 albums a year from an artist. Like, you know, I grew up where you'd hold the same CD for 2 years. You'd break that shit in your car. You'd rinse it so much. So I'm still trying to get used to having to be that, you know, prolific still. So, you know, but there's a lot of dudes out there. But really, like, anyone that listens in, man, if you're dope and you like what I do, just get at me, man. I just like to create music, man. Really, you know. What would your wish list be, man? If you don't mind me asking.
It's just really just so many. A.G.
Crazy, right?
A.G. from showing A.G.
Of course, yeah.
Definitely him. Hus Kingpin, Smooth.
Yeah.
The guy named Killy Shoot.
No, I've produced. I've Killy's laced a few of my beats, man. You should get at him, man. He's a good dude, man.
Yeah,
Killy's a good dude. That whole home team, man, they're all really good dudes.
Yeah, because I just interviewed a few of them too. Najee Jordan.
Yeah, OJ.
I got Tone Beats next week.
Yeah,
I'll be talking to him.
Oh, that's dope.
Right. This platform is for us. That's what's called Strictly for My Diggers, because what I feel is a lot of times as beat makers, we get the short end of the stick and we don't get celebrated like we're supposed to. A lot of times I've seen these artists take beats, make a whole album and forget about the producer, leave them in the cold.
Yeah.
Or don't list the producer.
That's true.
Don't list the producer who produced the track. Because I'm looking who did the beat. I want to know who did the beat.
Yeah, me too, man. I'm the same. I'm the same.
And a lot of times, you know, people need to be able to match a face to the name. So people need to know what Flu looks like. Who's Flu?
Yeah.
You know, so this platform is for us, and it's also for up and coming beat makers to hear me chop up game with people who are doing a little something more than what they're doing, so they can learn. Because this is all education for me as well.
Definitely,
man. I'm a beat maker, you know, and it's education for me as well. So that's why it's strictly for my diggers, you know?
Yeah. And that's why, you know, that's why I've been asking you too, like, you know, what about yourself? You know, because to me, it's interesting. The whole thing's interesting, the whole production side of things, because everyone has such weird nuances and weird ways of doing things, you know?
Absolutely.
And so I love chopping it up with fellow producers, man, because it's like, oh, you do it that way? Like, I would have never even contemplated to do it that way. You know what I mean? So it's mind blowing to hear that stuff,
But about giving out stems, because I know sometimes some engineer can really mess up your beat if they don't know what you're doing or how you want it to sound. Because I was always taught that if you're not there for the mixing session, you really don't want that record. Has it ever happened where they messed up your sound, giving out the stems?
Luckily for me, I pretty much say from the get-go, look, if you're going to work with me, I've got an engineer, a good friend of mine. I've known him for about 15 years. He lives out here in Australia. He's going to mix the album. He's going to mix it. And they've never complained, man. They're always like, damn, man, that post mixing, almost like its own form of production, it got their album sounding immaculate to the point where they're like, man, they're starting to hit up my guy now for the mixing of their own projects. So I've been lucky in that sense where I kind of draw the line from the start in a friendly way and just go, look, man, just so you know, my dude does the mixing, but you're gonna love it. So that's my dude, Phil Ghawd. Shouts to Phil Ghawd. So he does it all, and he did the Edo, the rigs, the crime apple stuff, the smooth joints, the general back pain. Shouts to the home team. He's done all that. So I'm lucky. I haven't come across that yet. I've had some dudes go, I don't want to send out stems because they're going to steal my drums even, and it started getting me thinking, oh shit, I never thought about that too. So there's definitely, bits and pieces with feeling weird about it, but I'm lucky. I've got a go-to guy.
Wow. Because like I said, me personally, I've always I'm raw. I'm a just raw beat maker. So, a lot of times I make beats, I send out the wave, and that's it. There's no stems, and a lot of people just take it as like I'm working with an artist named Mr. Ripley out of Jersey. I don't know if you heard of him, but
I've heard the name. Yes, definitely.
Yeah, Mr. Ripley. Working with him, we're on our second album, or whatever, and he takes the beat as is and just rocks with it raw.
Right. And then what? You just drop the vocals into the session, and that's it.
Well, he handles all. I just give him the beat. He handles all.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? I make the beats on here. Send it as a wave. He takes it and he just rocks with it. And I guess he mixes the vocals to the beat or whatever. I just make sure the drums knock. Now, especially if you have new equipment, the drums knock a little bit. I'm stacking drums more or whatever. Because this is underground hip hop. It's not supposed to be too polished and too shiny.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it. So they get it raw, like off of, or like they're listening to it off a cassette tape. With the hiss and the vinyl, because you gotta realize we're digging through dusty records,
man,
from 19.
I love the dust, man. I love the dust.
And sometimes we're digging in some of the unusual places where we gotta wear face masks just to be messing with the record because we can get sick.
Yeah, exactly,
man. That type of digging, you know what I mean? When you're on the ground and you're like this, you know what I mean? Because you're doing whatever you got to do to that dusty that dusty record, and with the crunch and the crackle in it. That's what I like.
Man.
So
I know people that EQ the crackle out, and it's like, man, leave the crackle in, man. Leave that shit in. It's
lo-fi hip hop. That's why I say the mixing part. I'm not too big on it like that because it's just lo-fi, man. It's just lo-fi, and it's earthy. I want you to feel it because I'm a feeling type of producer, man. I like I'm not technical. When you get too technical, to me, that's when you start getting whacked because you're too focused on
going too much.
Right.
Yeah.
It's all about feeling. You know? So let me ask you a question. Are you going to come out with your quote unquote Dr. Dre chronic type album where it's just all your production with a bunch of different MCs? Is that next?
Look, it's definitely something I want to do in the future, man. But I believe in paying people for their work too. Like I can't just be like, oh, it blessed me with this, and then I go and press the vinyl with a label, and that's it. So once I get some funds back up, because we're in lockdown at the moment here in Melbourne, man. So no one's working. There's not much income coming through. But yeah, I want to do that. I definitely want to do that. I want to reach out to a lot of different people, people I've worked with already before that I haven't, a relationship with. And I think it'd be crazy to do it. Definitely do a production album, man. And there's so much talent at the moment, man. I'm loving the discovery. Like, that's why I always cringe. Like, even from Australia, I still cringe all the way over here when people like, hip hop's dead or whatever. It's like, man, it's never been dead. It never slowed down. People just weren't looking in the right spot. right now, man, I think we're blessed. There's so much talent, man, to the point where it's made me lift my game anyway with dudes I'm dropping with. Because it's like, we need to stand out amongst this massive sea of talent.
Yeah,
we need to do something to make that splash, and you got to do something.
And you know what's funny? Who I give credit to really bringing a lot of that talent to the forefront? This YouTube channel. This guy, I guess he's a guy named Paka, P-A-K-A, and Sun.
Yeah.
Oh,
I know the dude from France or something.
Learned so much.
Yeah, I know the dude. Paka the Plug, right?
Right.
Yeah. No, he's uploaded some of my stuff. He's a good dude. I've spoken to him. He always asks for my he always asks if he can do it. I'm like, dude, do it, man. Like it's exposure. Like, go nuts.
That's how I learned about a lot of these guys. A lot of your stuff. There's a guy named Paka the Plug, Sun Tzu,
SMK,
and a guy named Calmly SMK. They're always posting albums, and it's like that's how I discover new people. And then you know, and it's just I'm always looking. Part of hip hop is always digging. You know,
exactly.
Hip hop is not always accessible. It's like back in the days in the 80s wasn't accessible. So it's back to that.
Yeah.
But you know, it's the PC age, right? If you're listening to whack hip hop, it's your own fault because it's the PC age now that you can go directly to what you want and find. You have to dig.
Yeah. You got no excuses now. No excuses.
No excuses. You know? No excuses. So I know you're a fan of the music, you know, because you make music. I'm a fan of the music. Who right now that's making beats? Who do you like?
Man, it's gonna
right
sound so cliche because he hasn't stopped doing it for 20 years, man. But I'm still I still am in awe of dudes like Alchemist. You know, the stuff he still comes out because he can do so many different styles, man. But I also got to shout outs to my good homies, man. Hobgoblin Beats, Farmer G. They're from England, the UK. They're my dudes. Like, big fan of them too. And I'm not just saying that because I speak to them a lot. I think they're like crazy talents. Man, there's so many. I like so many different styles. There's so many. It's hard. Like when you're on the spot, you know, it's hard to think of these names. But producer wise, man, there's so many dudes that like I just, you know, draw inspiration from or inspire me to do better. You know what I mean? Also, I also love the super strip stuff that Rock Marcy brought in back when Marsberg first dropped. You know, it seemed like there was a bit of a lull there. And I personally think, you know, half the underground owes that dude a check because once that dropped, man, it exploded. So Rock Marcy too, man. Car, even the way Car flips, the most simplest, even more simpler than Rock Marcy to a degree, but the way he just finds those perfect loops. So, you know, Brownsville Car, Rock Marcy, Alchemist, also obviously the Legends still doing it, you know, like Primo and stuff. So yeah, I draw from everything, man. But I'm just trying not to sound too cliche. But for me, they're still the ones, you know. They're still the ones killing it, you know. But there's so much talent out there, man. Ridiculous amount of talent out there. It's almost hard to keep up, man. It's hard to keep up.
Yeah, it is because like I said, I'm loving J.R. Swift. Everybody that I reach out
Swift,
to on this platform, I'm a supporter of them. So you know, J.R. Swift's, Clipto, Wavy the God, you know.
Yeah.
So many that I like, and those are
Future Wave. I've got to mention Future Wave too. He's got some crazy shit. That dude.
Future Wave.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just so many that I like or whatever, and all of those people, everybody that I invite on this platform, I'm a huge fan of theirs. I like their music.
Yeah.
And I rock with them. So
that's why I appreciate you having me on, man. Like when you reached out. I was like straight away. I was like, yeah, man. You know, so
definitely. Spanish Ren, you know what he's doing.
Yeah.
So it's just a lot of people that you're gonna be seeing on this platform that I'm gonna be bringing to the forefront or striving to bring further into the forefront because it's strictly for my diggers, man. That's what it is.
Yeah.
This is our platform. It's for us. You know, and I create this for us, you know, for everybody, for us to get our shine and recognition because a lot of times, you know, we get left behind, you know?
Yeah. It's super appreciated, man, what you're doing, man. I certainly appreciate it.
Absolutely.
You know?
So what's next? I mean, what project you got coming out next? Anything next?
The next one is actually one of, you spoke about, you know, Anaje and Killy Shoot, their homie General Back Pain, my homie Trey, man, from Inglewood, California. We did an album in 2019 with Tough Kong Records called Bovine 1. This is Bovine 2. So that's dropping next.
From top to bottom? I know he put up Bovine, but you produced that from top to bottom?
Yeah, that was top to bottom. Yeah, that was all me. So Bovine is basically him and me. So we've just wrapped up number 2. We just finished wrapping up some business talk with Tough Kong Records out in Italy. So they'll be putting that out. So that's the one that's next. So I'm excited about that, man. I think he's one of the most, underrated talents at the moment. He's got that real deep West Coast style, but he laces almost, again, not to use cliches, but almost on that New Yorkie style of MCing those. So it makes this beautiful balance, So I'm a huge fan of him, and we've become really close, good friends. I was just on the phone with him a couple of hours ago. We chop it up at least weekly. So that's another thing, to go back to what you said earlier about making stuff sound like it's a proper collab. Like, I've built friendships from this thing. I've built, we talk on the phone weekly, and then not just music. We talk about like our wives, our kids, our lives, what's going on over there, what's going on over here. And it's just a beautiful thing that this culture can do that, man, like from people from all over the world, man. I'm talking to you right now, right. It still blows my mind sometimes, man. I still trip out on it. I'm like, I'm just some dude in Australia right now, man. It's crazy. And that's the beauty of hip hop, man, and the strength of the whole movement and the culture, man. I'm just blessed to even just contribute to it, man. I'm blessed to even just be a guest in this thing and contribute my little albums here and there, man. So it's amazing to me, man. I love this shit.
Now, you mentioned Tough Kong a couple of times. Now, how does that situation work when they want to put an album out? Do they give you contracts? Do they give you a budget? Or how does that work?
Yeah. So there's definitely paperwork involved, contracts. Basically, I've dropped. I did the Edo, the Riggs, the first Bovine with them. I'm about to do a 4th one. So there's definitely contracts, varying degrees, different things depending. Obviously, in the end, there is the business aspect of this whole game. So there's contracts drawn to in different ways depending on the artist and what they think. They got to make their money, but they also put in their belief in you. So it's definitely all very professional. It's all signed on the dot lines and all done properly. I got mad love for them though, man, because for me, they took a chance on me with the Edo EP out of nowhere. Like I just hit them up out of nowhere. They loved the beats. They knew Edo. And from there, we built a relationship. He even came to Melbourne City, the guy that runs it, one time. We met up in the city and partied, during that night. So it's been a beautiful thing. So there's definitely, that business aspect to it. But at the same time, you got to give props to the Copenhagen Crates, the Tough Kongs, the Fuck Raps, Respect Do Records, all them dudes, because even though it's a business, they still believe in the music. Like they'll still hit you up and go, I love track blah, blah, blah. Or yeah, track 4. Like you can tell they listen to it. It's not just straight away like, who are you? How many followers you got? You know what I mean? It's not like that. You can tell they've listened to it because they'll quote back lyrics. They'll quote back a beat. So that shows that it's authentic. It's real. You know what I mean? So I'm always going to support them dudes and vice versa because they'd listen to it. It's not just a machine with them. They actually believe in this fucking thing we do. Excuse my French. So, they're passionate about that. So it's definitely labels like that are very important, I find, to even just global doing it. They're based out in Italy, but they speak perfect English, and they know good MCs. They know good producers. They know what's up, basically.
So I'm gonna ask you something. This is a touchy topic. You don't have to answer this.
Yeah.
Do you clear samples? And if you don't, how do you avoid the sample clearances? You don't have to answer that.
No, that's cool. No, man, I'm open book, my man. Look, I don't clear nothing, man. I don't clear shit. The stuff I sample, I spend the extra money on the vinyl because I'd be completely surprised if they could track down some of these fucking pieces, that I got. Like if they're able to track down some of these records that I've searched for and found, they're fucking, they deserve to steal my money, man, because it's like, how'd you find that? Another thing I found is on Twitter, some people go, oh, my sample, my track didn't get uploaded on DistroKid or whatever because of that. I disguise my shit, man, by, like I said, I don't do time stretch. I pitch down or up. So if I pitch down a sample and then played some stuff over it, it's a disguise at the start. So the algorithm, it can't pick it up. It's not going to just pluck it out because instead of just leaving a straight loop untouched, I'll do something enough to it that it can throw the algorithm off. And I've never once had one of my albums not get uploaded without any copyright infringement issues. So no, I don't pay for shit, and I probably never would. And like I said, you know, sometimes you got to dig a little bit deeper, or fuck with it, man. You've got your sampler, fuck with it a bit to avoid those traps. You know what I mean? So that's how I do it.
Now, would you say that because underground, we're not selling a lot of records, that's another factor as well, that you can avoid sample clearances?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, a lot of us independent people like yourself, me, and, you know, everyone else, like, who's got that kind of bank to really go that far and do that? I think, though, I may not have reached a level yet where I might be working with bigger names where they may force you to do it in contractual obligations. I'm not sure. I'm not privy to that sort of thing, but I'm sure that probably might come in later on. But the funny thing, you mentioned Tough Kong before, you basically sign it and it says, do you own this shit? So that way, if anything did happen, you know, they're not liable. So you do sort of feel a little bit like, you know, when you sign that shit, because it's like you're basically saying nothing, no copyright shit's going to come back on you for putting this out. So you sort of do put your life on the line to a degree. But I think it's about just being clever with it, disguising it, digging in different areas, and going from there, man. So like I said, I'm yet to have that issue, knock on wood, you know. So I'm yet to have anyone pull me up.
So back to the Tough Kong situation. When you say contracts, now are these hard to read contracts that you have to get a lawyer for, or you can just read it and sign it and it's that simple?
No, it's still very grassroots, man. It's still very just straight up, like, you know, this is what we're offering you. You know, you still own the rights to all your stuff, but we're going to put it out on our label. The splits, the cuts, all that. It's very straight up, man. It's not like, you know, you hear about these real dodgy 360 deals. That's all left for the majors, man. That's all major artists. They deal with that shit. These guys, like I said, they're authentic, grassroots. They just want to help you put dope shit out. This is the split. This is the contract. Boom. It's super simple. And, you know, they're hip hop heads, man. They're hip hop heads. They're doing it for the right reasons. They're not doing it to like try and squeeze an extra, $50 out of an Edo record that I did. You know, that's not what they're about. So no, it's all very above board, and they're good dudes, man. I chop it up with them a lot on the phone and stuff. So, you know, I'd consider them, you know, homies even. So I say anyone listening in, man, if you got dope product, get at them, man, because they're real good dudes, man. Real good dudes.
So does the album have to be done already and before you deal with them, or is it, hey, we want you to do an album with Edo, here's the contracts, let's get this done? And do they give you an
No, see, for me, it was finished already. Like, so I'd be like, hey, man, you know, I did the Edo thing. That did well. So then all of a sudden I was like, well, you know, Riggs, you know, another dude from Rochester, shout outs to Riggs. And it's like their homies equally as dope. You know, so here it is. And again, I actually come with the package. Like I'll be like, here's the artwork. We've got 3 videos. We've got this promo material. Like, you got to sell yourself a little bit, you know, don't just go, here's a SoundCloud link. Like, here's a little bit of advice that I think helps. Hit up these labels with a full package, the videos, show them what your rollout is going to be, show them, you know, videos that you've done, you know, sell yourself, be like, you're going to give me this opportunity. Let me sell the product as well. You know what I mean? So I hit them with videos, everything ready to go in a Dropbox folder or WeTransfer, whatever. And I go, here it is. Let me know what you think. So I make sure everything's ready to go. And depending on what they think it can do, you either got guarantees or you got what they call distribution deals. So there's a bit of both, and that depends on what they feel at the time, and you know, and then you go from there.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So they will give you an advance.
Depending on the album. So like, I mean, obviously I can't speak for them in that degree, but you know, I've been blessed enough to be given, you know, those kind of opportunities, advances and stuff. Some are different, some are distribution. So, you know, they deal with a, you know, I guess what you'd call project to project basis, really.
These are one-off projects.
Yeah. So you never signed like, well, I haven't. Again, can't speak for anyone else. I've never signed like, we want 3 Flu-produced records. You know what I mean? It's always been each thing was its own separate project, and then from there you try and reach out again if you think you got something that's that they'll like the next time, you know. Wow,
that's dope. All right, so before I let you get out of here, what advice would you give the up and coming beat makers who are trying to do the same thing?
Man, again, like, see, I appreciate you reaching out so much that I don't want to just hit you with cliches, but some of these cliches that just ring true. Do you know what I mean? Like, too many people are like, they might hear the recent wave or whatever and go, I'm just going to emulate what, you know, so-and-so is doing. It's not going to work. You're just going to be a broke man's version of that dude who's already doing that. Like, I find your own lane, find what works for you, and keep the faith, man. Keep going. Like, it's not going to all happen straight away. It's not like straight away I was on Tough Kong, straight away Riggs, Ito, you know, whatever. That, you know, I worked on that shit. So my advice would be, do you, man. Like, make the sort of shit that you like listening to. Don't start making stuff that you wouldn't normally listen to, but you think that's going to get you some dudes to jump on your shit. Nah, make the shit that you like to listen to. And then when you find the dudes that are in the same, you know, wavelength as you, meeting that same energy, then it's beautiful, man. It's beautiful. Becomes a beautiful piece of work together, you know? Right,
definitely. Listen, I want to thank you for taking the time. I know, you know, the time difference was an actual factor or whatever, because it's like 12:40. It's past midnight. It's Saturday right now. You know,
yeah.
It's Saturday where you're at too right now, correct?
Yeah, it's like 3 p.m. or something, Saturday afternoon, man. So I appreciate you staying up, man. For me, it's easy.
Definitely. Well, this is hip hop. Hip hop has no time limit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's right. Exactly, man.
This is hip hop. So I've done interviews 2, 3 in the morning. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
It takes to get it done, but I'm just so humble and so thankful that you took the time, because you know a lot of guys have done a lot of work, and you know I don't have a big platform. I'm building it, but I'm building it for us. You know,
yeah, man.
You're one of like you're gonna be in season 1 of this.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, man. No, like I said, I want to thank you too, man. And what you're doing is good work, man. And like you said, you're putting it out there for the producers, man. And for you to reach out, like I said, man, it's a massive wave now. It's an ocean of talent. For you to even reach out and have me as part of season 1, man, that seriously means the world to me, man. So I really appreciate your time, man. For real.
Definitely. So yeah, let's keep in touch. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely, man.
Like that. Let's keep in touch and all that. Keep doing what you're doing. I'm watching, and I'm gonna be doing some great things too. Just watch, because everybody else
definitely, man,
has really influenced me to really take these beats and get it out there.
Yeah, man. No, like, hit me up anytime, man. Anytime, man. Hit me up, man. My line's always open, man. 100%.
Yeah, definitely. You know, follow me on Instagram. You know what I mean? I follow you. Follow me back or whatever when you can or whatever, and things like that.
I should. I'm pretty sure I'm following you already. Pretty sure.
You probably are. Yeah, let's keep the notification open. All right.
Yeah, 100%, man. No, always reach out anytime, man. I really do appreciate you reaching out.
All right. Salute to you.
All right. My man. Much love. Ladies, man.
I'm gonna tell you now, I ain't no holy individual, but I am righteous. I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm not gonna steal from you, I'm not gonna cheat you. I'm gonna tell you